Come, let us explore what your meditation teacher never told you about karma. This morning's lesson is drawn from a selection of vast expanse of the demon-like mind, known in Tibet as Dorje Sempa Lumkache, composed about 14 centuries ago by Prahe Vajra, translated from the Tibetan by Chokyo Namkai Norbu, translated from the Italian by Adriano Clemente, adapted and amplified by yours truly. So this morning's lesson is drawn from the 14th passage of this text. So my goal is quite simple, that together we will relaxingly recite this passage 4 times, and in between the repetitions I will explain. Let's begin. They coined the terms cause and effect, but both virtues and negativities dissolve completely. They say we will get out of this world and dualistically nurture supreme complacency by accepting and rejecting. So in this passage we see 3 sets of dualities. Cause and effect, this world, another world, and accepting and rejecting. The late Za Patrul Rinpoche insisted that the fundamental duality of Buddhism was hope and fear, or desire and dread, or pulling and pushing. So for this I need to use an illustration, so I think I'll go here. Every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever cause and effect we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if it fleetingly becomes less tantalizing, less permanent, less defining, and is less graspable. Of course, during our next inhalation, it could come right back, and that's just fine. Our job is not to get rid of that perception. Our job is to process that perception. Let's dig a little deeper. When we say cause and effect, we don't mean rational cause and effect. Obviously, if you drop a manhole cover on your toe, you will injure it. There's nothing spooky there. We're talking about spooky cause and effect, like an abused child's experience, the lie, the victim blaming that would say an abused child is receiving the fruits of their negative karma of a previous life. What kind of a fiend would victim shame a child? That's appalling. The same type of patriarchy, that same type of elitism, that same type of malarkey that would say, well, if your spouse is abusing you, you must have said something to deserve it. If not this life, then maybe a previous life. The essence of Buddhism, the essence of proto-Buddhism, is the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, mindfulness with breathing, and the 4 bases of mindfulness. It's very, very simple. And none of those speak of karma. 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path pertains to loving kindness. When we practice mindfulness and meditation authentically, kindness becomes an involuntary knee-jerk reaction. Yes, we will still experience the full spectrum of emotions, full spectrum of impulses, but that which pulls the puppet strings of our choices, utterances, and deeds will become the highest love, which is the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of authentic mindfulness and meditation. There is no need for us to try to gain leverage on ourselves and others, and try to coerce ourselves and others to not do the wrong thing and to do the right thing out of fear of punishment or hope for reward. Doing that reinforces duality and makes of us cowards. So let's return back to this diagram. We often discuss two paths, the path of Yang's religious patriarchy versus Yin's spiritual matriarchy. What is the neuroscience of Yang's religious patriarchy? Simply this. When we indulge our controlling tendencies and thus rely upon our medial and dorsolateral prefrontal cortici to focus and analyze, we wind up exhausting the front part of our brain and triggering our amygdala, which is the seat of anxiety and aggression. This is the path of fear. And although it might take us many places, peace and love are not one of them. However, good news is neither the amygdala nor the front of the brain are the only parts of our central nervous system. When we cooperate with our sympathetic nervous system during our inhalation, and when we cooperate with our parasympathetic nervous system during our exhalation, number one, we calm our amygdala. Number two, we stimulate this band of material right here, described as the anterior cingulate gyrus. This functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of compassion and love. So the path of karma is not the path of love. The path of fearing punishment and craving reward is not the path of love. So, in conclusion, the more we practice mindfulness and meditation, the more loving our choices and utterances and deeds will be. Now let us recite our second repetition. They coined the terms cause and effect, but both virtues and negativities dissolve completely. So this dissolution feels like it occurs every time we relax into our exhalation. They say we will get out of this world and dualistically nurture supreme complacency by accepting and rejecting. What if nirvana, what if samsara was as close as our every inhalation and nirvana was as close as our every exhalation? Noticing and release. Creation and cessation. Not happening once, but happening during each cycle of each breath, of each day, of each year of our life. Let us continue with the pronoun they. They say we will get out of this world and dualistically nurture supreme complacency by accepting and rejecting. Third repetition. They coined the terms cause and effect, but both virtues and negativities dissolve completely. They say we will get out of this world and dualistically nurture supreme complacency by accepting and rejecting. Final repetition, let's make it count. They coined the terms cause and effect, but both virtues and negativities dissolve completely. They say we will get out of this world and dualistically nurture supreme complacency by This is the Dzogchen Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests, as well as my ADHD hyperfocus, to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Now we turn our attention to the latest iteration of very easy meditation practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. Let us together chant. Let us set intention by chanting the essence of the path. Together. Whatever comes may all beings notice, relax and flow. Whatever stays may all beings notice, relax and flow. Whatever goes may all beings notice, relax and flow. Now you may be wondering what these images mean, and they are symbolic, and I will do my best to flesh this out. Let's see, I'm going to put 18, let's hit home, and hit 18, and that should do it. Let's give it a shot. All right, hopefully that will make more sense in the future when we chant this. Okay, so now we're going to review the mechanics of both mindfulness as well as meditation. Every time we inhale, we have evolved to automatically access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This sympathetic nervous system has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is the opposite of concentration. What then do we do with that which we noticed? We meditate. You see, every time we exhale, we've already evolved to automatically access our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third as well as the upper third of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Given the importance of our autonomic nervous system, what is the most efficient, easy, sustainable way for us to cooperate with it? Simple. We could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, and we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. Every time we feel our air enter our nostrils, every time we feel air exit our nostrils. Patriarchy is keen on elitism, which has been lying to us, telling us the only way to meditate is to master the full lotus position, even though the Buddha never directly taught that. In fact, the most ancient Buddhist statuary does not represent the full lotus posture, but merely the quarter lotus posture, or one leg just rests comfortably upon the other leg, like the two pieces of bread in a sandwich. So here's some physiological tips. Our knees are only hinge joints, therefore we do not try to turn out from them. Our hip joints are ball and socket joints. That is where we turn out. And even though we might have the best of intention, the first time I try it, it could be really, really sloppy. It is not our job to force this position. It's our job to reconcile ourselves, to be patient with imperfection and time. Sit as best you can without forcing anything for as little as 5 minutes every 12 hours. And within a week or two, our bodies could remember how to sit as children. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. I check for questions approximately once every 15 minutes or so. Together, let's practice. Let's return to the subject of karma. In the Buddha's original teachings, proto-Buddhism, before institutionalism crept in and everyone started trying to manipulate each other, the Buddha spoke not of... He spoke rarely of multiple lives, and when he did, it seemed to be in the context of hyperbolic statements. In the Four Noble Truths, we learn that our instinctual mechanisms at the bottom of our brain are useful for life or death situations. But if we live from that place all the time, we'll have a very unfulfilling life. We also learn that There's a part of our brain that's wired, that's evolved to cooperate. And when we live from that part of our brain, we're going to have a very loving, peaceful, fulfilling life. Most people will say, well, I would like, if I have to choose between only short-term pleasure and a lot of frustration, or love, peace, and fulfillment, I'll choose the second. The path to that, to making that change effortlessly and automatically, is mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. The mastery of the Buddha's Eightfold Path is predicated solely upon our practice of mindfulness and meditation. Patriarchy tends to be elitist and tells people it takes many, 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 many billions of lifetimes to become a Buddha. But that's not what the Buddha taught. The Buddha said, hey man, you can do this in as little as 7 days. Clearly, the Buddha was not into elitism or patriarchy. So yes, it's as simple as Jing, Qi, and Shen. Sit properly and coordinate your intention to notice and release with your inhalation and your exhalation. It's just that simple. You will always find people who say, no, it's difficult, it's only for special people. That's fine. They can say what they want. And you can be Lieutenant Columbo. You can watch them. You can listen to them. You can listen to the people and what they say and how they say it and how they go through life. And if someone is aggressive or anxious, and if someone is peaceful and loving, you'll notice correlations. And you can say, hey man, who do I want to emulate? Do I want to be like this coercive person? Or do I want to be like this laid back person? Do I want to be like the big Lebowski? Or do I want to be like the dude? The Christians will tell you that in the Synoptic Gospels, when Jesus goes to be baptized by John, John says, and I paraphrase, but Lord, shouldn't I be baptized by you? And there is an archetypical facet of patriarchy that wants to be recognized as the chosen one, just like Neo in the first Matrix movie. And so many times people will, in a pseudo-innocent way, say, I just had this experience during meditation. What does it mean? And on some level, longing for the other meditators to say, it's the chosen one, come, let us worship the chosen one. Enlightenment is not the acquisition of a psychedelic experience. There's nothing wrong with it, but a psychedelic experience is not a Buddha make, as fun as it may be. A Buddha is not defined by what they experience during meditation. A Buddha is not defined by what they perceive, emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. What then does define a Buddha? What they do with that which they perceive, emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. Do they notice it vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly? Do they relax and release as best as they can? Are they able to do that spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively? Fabulous. But really, it doesn't matter what we label ourselves or what others label us. All that matters is that we traverse love's path of mindfulness, meditation, and centered spontaneity. and just let everything else take care of itself. Why, there's not even a need to actively manifest safety from what we dread or acquisition of what we desire. According to the great Buddhist reformer, Prahevajra, if one is simply to notice dreads as one breathes in and then relaxes during one's exhalation, one has dissolved those dreads. If one notices desires as one breathes in, noticing them spontaneously, habitually, easily, noticing them vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, and then one relaxes during our exhalation, then one has dissolved the hindrances separating one from what one desires. That is the peaceful way. That's the peaceful way to practice. There are many people who are happy to sell you books and courses on how you can tie yourself in knots, choosing what to feel, choosing what to emote, choosing what to believe, choosing what to see. And all it's going to cost you is your time and your energy and your peace and your love. To reverse the easy path of noticing and relaxing, and you will be lousy with peace and love and centered spontaneity. The famous statue at Kamakura, Japan, does an excellent job of illustrating the 7-point posture of Vairocana, wherein there is a vertical traction between our tush and the back of our head, which causes our face to point towards a place in the ground about 1 or 2 meters ahead of us, and consequently opens up our shoulder blades or scapula, thus opening up our acupuncture meridians. As we inhale, we vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, fleetingly notice as we exhale through our nostrils. I'm sorry, I skipped part. As through our nostrils, we inhale, we vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice perceptions, sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including our emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. As we exhale through our nostrils, we physically relax and mentally release. Together, let us practice right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation or philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat windows. Quick reminder, we can count our inhalations on our right hand. We can count 12 inhalations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can count multiple sets on our left hand. So we could count 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5, set 6, set 7, set 8, set 9, set 10, set 11, set 12, set. And we can count collections of 12 sets of 12 repetitions. And we can count those on our rear knuckles. So for instance, as we rest the tip of our left little finger upon our right knuckle, that's our first collection of 144 breaths. And, oopsie, I guess that's incorrect. But anywho, we can count our second collection of, let's see, what's 8 times 12? 72. Our third collection of 72 breaths, our fourth collection of 72 breaths. Some people will breathe faster than me. Some people will breathe slower than me. It doesn't matter. I find this to be helpful. You might not. It's useful to have tools and options. Each time we inhale, we could vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice all manner of phenomena. From the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. Each time we exhale, we can physically relax and mentally release. Okay, I'm looking for page 12. One moment. Let's go to the end. Let's hit paste. Okay, in preparation to keep track of our fourth set of 96 breaths, here's what we can do. Upon the tip of our left index finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Remember, 96 is simply 8 times 12. We count to 12 on our right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We multiply that by 8 sets. First set, second set, third set, fourth set, fifth set, sixth set, seventh set, eighth set. Each time we relax into our exhalation, whatever dualities we noticed during our previous inhalation, such as lack or boon, could feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just the circumstantial. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 9.5 hours, I would very much like to return to today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.